Hi, welcome to Coaching in a Cuppa, where we have conversations about coaching with other coaches. My name is Leslie Miserak with Get Courageous Coaching. We offer leadership, confidence, and retirement coaching. Thank you for joining us today. Let's take a listen. Here we go. Today on Coaching in a Cuppa, I have Dasha Dare. Dasha Dare is a photographer and coach. And before we get started, before I turn it over to talk with Dasha, I have to tell you, I met her a couple of years ago at a coaching conference, and she does not know I'm about to say this, but she is one of the most magnetic, positive energy people I've ever met. And since I met her a couple of years ago, we don't talk very often. We do a message back and forth on LinkedIn, but the energy this woman radiates is powerful. And so I'm so excited, Dasha, to have you on Coaching in a Cuppa today. So thank you for joining
Thank
me.
you. Thank you
Uh,
so much. What a
uh,
beautiful introduction.
well, it is all true. And I'm loving your shirt, relaxing into my greatness. I'm pretty sure we are have to talk about that just a little bit as we go along. But thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So first things first, it's Coaching in a Cuppa.
Mhm.
So what's in your cup?
Yeah, so it's 10 o'clock in the morning and I'm having
Uh-huh.
my warm water with lemon. It's
Warm water with lemon.
something that I,
Okay.
I haven't had my coffee yet because I went for a walk and then I made myself water, and so this is what I have.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, cheers. I have my iced tea because no matter what the temperature is, there's going to be iced tea in my cup. So
Oh,
cheers to
cool.
you, my
Cheers.
friend.
Cheers. Mhm.
So, Dasha, photographer and coach, tell us a little bit about you and who you are.
Oh yeah. I'm a human.
Yeah, yeah, you
That's
are.
what I'm a human who was very lucky to once upon a time have a camera in my hands, and that was a gift of my sister for my birthday, when I just moved to the States from Russia many, many years ago, maybe like 18 years ago. Um, I didn't know anyone, so my sister gave me a camera and I started walking around the streets and taking pictures, and I never had a plan to become a photographer. It was never on my mind. I never went to school for that. I was a, like what I like to say, a boring business major.
Love it.
But hey, I didn't know anyone, so I had to entertain myself somehow. So that's how photography came into my life. But with that, also a very deep awareness about my own way of seeing the world,
Mhm.
which then kind of moved towards seeing people, because first I started from taking pictures that just of streets and landscapes and buildings. I was in New York City, so you couldn't imagine
Mm.
a better place to
Great
explore.
canvas.
Yeah, yeah, great
Yeah.
canvas, yeah. But then over time, people started asking me, well, can you bring your camera to this birthday party or this event, this and that? So eventually I became a portrait photographer. And um, and this gift of seeing the greatness in another human is
Mm.
something that I've been cultivating unconsciously, I think, over last 10, 15 years, um, until eventually I came into coaching during pandemic, again without knowing what coaching was, without
Hmm.
planning, without that seems to be the story of my life, as they like to say.
It's working for you.
I always like to say, well, you, if you think you have a plan, there's your plan and there's God's plan, and your plan doesn't matter. That's what one of my mentors once told me.
I don't disagree with that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, and so when I got myself into coaching, I realized, wow, I do exactly the same thing as I've been doing in photography for so many years. I'm here to see, to use my gift, and that's a separate story, how we become aware of our gifts and actually claim them and start consciously using them, because not what I've learned, even though I was aware that something is happening between me and another human when I'm interacting or seeing or photographing or just holding the presence and the space, something is happening, something magical, miraculous. But it's not until I said to myself, like, this is who I am and this is what I'm here to do, you can really see so much of the results, because you have to believe in it, believe in yourself,
Ah,
right? And
I
so,
love that.
yeah, relaxing into my greatness, relaxing into your greatness. That was the original, that's the original phrase that somehow several years ago dropped into my consciousness or awareness. And I realized I love this so much because really, as somebody who worked with images for so long, I know for sure that the reason why people don't realize their potential is because they think that they are the image that they present to the world. And there's so much work that goes towards evolving, developing, becoming, making yourself into some sort of a shape and form and mold. Whereas the goal is to actually relax into what is,
Hmm.
because that is the greatest greatness that you'll ever be. And so that's kind of, um I guess that's how I would explain what I do in and how I look at coaching. I help people relax into their greatness, and that's what I do.
I love that. So is that has your experience from photographer to coach,
Mm,
right? That there's a
mm,
transition there. How do you think those experiences behind the camera really reinforce your coaching work today?
mm. Well, I never stopped being a photographer.
That's true. So tell
uh,
us about that.
I think I think being a photographer is a state of mind rather than it is
Mm.
not conditioned by holding camera in your hands, really. It's
Tell me
it's
more.
it's a way it's a way of being in the world where mm, you exercise so much awareness and really actively use your attention, um, to search for beauty, and
Mm.
that's your only North Star. And of course, beauty is everywhere, but that beauty needs to resonate with who you are. So 15 photographers can sit in front of the same person, and each one of them will take one beautiful image. But how is it beautiful? It's my subjective experience of beauty that I see in you. Similarly, in coaching, you can have 15 coaches coaching the same person, and each one of them will get something out of it. But the best match, I think, is when there is a resonance, when the person on the receiving end sees a picture that you take of them as a coach or as a photographer. Doesn't
Hmm.
matter. I use those phrases, those words interchangeably, but the person on the receiving end sees the picture, your vision. This is how I see you. Does this resonate with
Mm.
you? And when there is a resonance, and that person awakes, like there is a chance to open up that door, just even if a little bit, to becoming to really trusting that coach or that photographer that yes, indeed, I am that beauty and that greatness. And so I think, if anything, photography has prepared me to be a coach, but also it provided me with very metaphorical language,
Hmm.
and it was very easy
Makes
for me
sense.
to, yeah, very quickly understand, oh, this is what I'm working with here, and this is not that different, really.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that. And as you were saying that, the word that kept popping into my brain is being wholly present,
Mm.
because photography is about that moment.
Hmm.
And I think you're capturing that moment of presence.
Hmm.
So, as a photographer, as well as a coach, but also the coachee or client that you're talking with or working with, that's their moment of presence. So,
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
I love that.
there's a very famous French documentary photographer, um, who who called, his name was Cartier-Bresson, and he called it a decisive moment.
Mm,
A decisive moment where I sit here, I frame the frame, and I know something's gonna happen in this frame, and there is nothing for me to do other than just being the observer. For those of us who are familiar with maybe the observer effect in physics, you're actively consciously being an observer, and you pulling the magical moment into the reality, into this existence that has become real for both of us. And that's magic. That's like true
that's
magic. And that's the moment when you, as a photographer, as a coach, or as an artist, because it's really an art form, uh, that's when it resonates with you, and you're viscerally on a body level, you feel like, oh, we just captured something. Yeah. I'm sure
yeah.
you can relate to that, and have experienced, of course, that with your clients too. Yeah.
Without a doubt, just what
Mhm.
is so cool about the work you do, and I've seen some examples of
Mhm.
your coaching client pictures throughout their coaching journey with
Mm,
you, and you can just see the change in, or whereas I, as a coach, can see the change in their facial expression and body language, you're taking a picture and documenting it, and your
yeah.
clients get to see it. Not only are they feeling it, but they get to really be present with it after the fact, and keep that going. I think that's powerful.
Yeah, yeah. I think for the listeners who are not familiar with my work, we probably should mention that yes, I do use images in coaching. Uh,
Yes.
besides the fact that I look at coaching as photography, basically, I quite literally, yeah, I started experimenting with using pictures and capturing. Um, in the beginning, it was just like, oh, I'm gonna take pictures and see what you're gonna think about it, and how very experimental. But then I was asking myself, what is it that I'm actually capturing here?
Mm,
What is the difference? What is it, right? And
yeah.
that's how I come to a conclusion that it's a very subjective consciousness state, because a person comes in, um, typically to a coaching session in with some sort of a unrest, inner
Hmm.
unrest, let's call it this, lack of peace.
Yeah. Something they want to work on, something they want
Yeah,
to talk about. Yeah.
exactly. And so the more they share about it, the more they evoke that experience of feeling what they feel. And that's what we capture in the beginning. And then towards the end of the session, hopefully we're able to move you into a different state of mind and state of being that you embody differently. You embody a different way of thinking, you embody a different way of being. And so that's very interesting. At least for me it is. I know for some other people who worked with me, for them it was also very interesting. And yeah, and that's how I came to this Who Lived My Life Yesterday, the whole concept that the whole exercise of picture taking is
Hmm.
really to show a person who lived their life yesterday. That avatar, that image, that label that you've associated or identified yourself with, and what is the price of maintaining this avatar as opposed to relaxing into your greatness. And so that's like the whole, now we have the full picture, I think.
Totally do. Well, tell me a little bit about your practice. We know you do coaching. We know you started as a photographer and you do coaching now along with photography. Tell
Yeah.
us about your practice. What types of coaching do you do?
Hmm. Yeah.
Give us a little
Yeah, I
info.
don't, as somebody who dreams of a world free from images, I don't like to label, I don't like to label my practice. So, I coach, and I see greatness in people, and that's my purpose, I think, as of right now, to
Hmm.
remind and help people remember themselves and who they are. And as far as what kind of questions people bring, or what kind of people come to work with me, it can be really anything from career journey, transitioning in life, not knowing who am I, what am I, all kinds of identity crises, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
since I'm working with the image of you, that's your identity, or so you think. So I think that's probably the biggest, or how do I change how the world perceives me, anything related to self-image. That's everything that I love. And of course, as a creator myself and a creative being, heavily focused on creativity in my life, I think a big focus is to help people become very visible with the work that they do. Uh,
Okay.
and not only visible, but also make money.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's, money is a direct outcome of how much of yourself you put into the world so the world can get in contact with your greatness. So
Mm.
there's a chain of events, right, that needs to happen. You face who lived your life yesterday, you kind of explore that fully, you understand what you need to let go or forgive, or there's some people need to go to therapy at that particular stage,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
To really address that and detach and see and come in contact with the greatness that you are. But then what do you do with it? You start creating. And then at the creative, it's like a different level of consciousness. Like, okay, now I'm the creator. Now you have different problems. Now, how do I share? How do I talk? How do I how, and it
Yeah, that transformation.
yeah, it can be as little as like, how do I write on social media every day, to how do I get on camera? How do I go on stage? How do I start sharing with my relatives? How do I even tell people or my
Mm.
family that now I'm creator, right? And I'm doing this and that. And of course, if you're not doing all of that, the world doesn't know about your work. You're not giving that which came through you into this world. And if you're not sharing, not giving, everything is very just and equal. So how much I give away of what came through me, that much I receive. And so if I'm not giving anything, well, come, I'll coach you.
I love that. Well, would you share a story of someone who's relaxed into their greatness? Obviously, no names, but is there
Yeah.
a situation that you can share with us, a success story?
Yeah. So to me, my favorite success stories are the ones that are like miracles, like the moments of such a alignment and resonance. Like I
Mm.
remember once I had a session and we were talking about like a career transition. And by the time we finished the session, this person received an email from the company of their dream with an invitation for an interview. And I,
Wow.
yeah, this is really
Yes.
good.
Talk about putting it out into the universe, right?
But there is, coaching is such a great opportunity for really tapping into like a level of frequency. And I'm not afraid of using those woo-woo
Mhm.
words, because hopefully more and more people understand that energy is everything. And
Oh, yeah.
and this physical body at the very micro level vibrates. If you reduce us to a very little atom. um so so I love when things like that happen. It's immediate, very quick. I think another great example was this high level executive was preparing to interview for uh, a big job. It was like also
Hmm.
a big transition. And we worked specifically on relaxing into this
Mm.
person's greatness, so that there is no self-doubt or uncertainty about who am I and what am I bringing to the table here and what kind of value I present. And in the end, when she came back from the interview and we had kind of, okay, how was it? And this person said, I came to the interview, uh, and I don't remember the exact words, but I didn't care what the outcome would be.
Mm.
and I was ready to really to any kind of outcome. Not because it doesn't matter, right? It's not because of the job itself or the people who were interviewing, but because I knew that regardless of the outcome, I have so much value in me that it's why would I care? If that's a right match, it's a right match. But if not, then not. So I came being ready to lose this opportunity because I know that if, and there's, and I know this maybe not like the usual success story, but for me, that was the biggest.
It's a huge
And
success.
this person got the job and everything is fine and blah, blah, blah. And it didn't matter to me either whether she would like this person gets the job or not. But that level of confidence and knowing and trust and just relaxation into what is, that's, I love that.
The story I'm telling myself is this person relaxed into their greatness so much that the greatness actually showed through.
Yeah. Yeah,
it was present.
And that's a great way to
And
put it.
the other people were smart enough to be able to see it. So, oh, that's huge.
Yeah.
Where does your practice go from here?
So let's see. I'm currently studying consciousness, and I'm in a grad school for applied psychology. So that's one of the directions I'm curious for myself first, but then for people that I work with, I just felt that I need more knowledge on a more kind of maybe scientific level. In addition to my love for spirituality and energy and coaching and creativity, and this was just one more piece that I wanted to have that. And it's super interesting to read all the research that is being done, because I look at coaching as a consciousness expansion tool or way of expanding somebody else's meaning making ability. How do you make meaning of this situation, that situation, your experience, your subjective experience? Because you have to make sense to be comfortably functioning, because things make sense, you get derailed, you get this. So that's one of the directions, just studying consciousness and theories of consciousness on different levels. But then I have openings for mentorship. I call it mentorship more than coaching, because I like to have an approach where I'm not limited to coaching only.
Sure. A blended approach, I get it.
Yeah, I guess we can call it a blended approach. Yeah, I don't like to be limiting myself and putting myself into like a hard box. I like to be fluid and open.
I believe that about you.
I
wholly believe that about you.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and let's see what else I can tell you. I'm always looking for opportunity to speak at conference, at companies, at teams, at circles, podcasts, things like that. I love connecting with people and have look at how much fun we're having today.
Well, I've been so excited about this conversation.
Yeah, I love bringing the energy. I love charging people with energy. I think that's the gift of seeing, you see, when you see yourself, then you see others, and there's no ego in between, so there's no noise in the transmission of my energy.
I love that. Well, to wrap things up, and where can people find you if they'd like to talk to you about how they relax into their greatness? Where do you want them to find you?
So LinkedIn, I'm there every day. Instagram, I'm Dasha Dare on all of the platforms, so it's easy. There are two websites right now. One is dashadare.com, which has more information about the um, artistic side of me, but also the coaching side of me. It's more of like a personal site. And timetodare.com is a site that is being built right now, but it's live and people can visit. That's particularly devoted to their method, Who Lived Your Life Yesterday, is the
Love
thinking
that.
behind it. And that's where all of the podcasts, such as ours, or any confirmation conversations or articles, that's where everything will live
That's going to live.
and link.
Excellent.
Yeah. So
Wonderful.
I'm open and available.
I love that. Well, Dasha, I just want to say thank you so much for joining me today on Coaching in a Cuppa. Again, I've been so excited to talk to you, and again, the energy you bring is magnetic. So, cheers to you, my friend.
Happy to share always. Cheers.
Oh, I appreciate you. Thank you, Dasha.
Yeah, bye.
Thank you so much for joining us today for Coaching in a Cuppa. We hope you enjoyed this conversation. You can listen to other coaching conversations at getcourageous.com/cuppa. Have a great day.